YouTube suffers a shooting, thousands of Central Americans head for the US border, and an NFL cheerleader banned for being too sexy. Coming up on Today with 2 Cents. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Today with 2 Cents on the Liberty Network. The major news story of this week was a shooting at YouTube headquarters, of all places. Of course, we all know that this shooting must have been committed by a white male with an AR-15, and it is yet another sign that this country needs more gun control and less white, toxic masculinity. Oh wait a minute, that's not the story at all. This crime was committed by an Iranian vegan woman with a handgun.
A shooting yesterday at YouTube's headquarters in California wounded 3 people but left only the shooter dead. The killer was an Iranian refugee named Apparently believed that YouTube's content policies had somehow sabotaged her efforts to become a digital video star. Enraged, she drove to the company's headquarters and opened fire. That's what we know.
I don't believe in saying the name or showing the picture of shooters after they've committed their crimes. I'm not going to help them get famous, because that's exactly what many of these criminals want. However, since this shooter's profile didn't fit at all with the media's narratives of toxic masculinity, whiteness, and weapons of war, the mainstream media is already backing off of it, while they'll be continuing to cover Parkland for months to come. I'd just like to point out that this woman was caught sleeping in her car by police the night before her attack, and her family had warned the police that she was missing, and possibly heading to YouTube because she was mad at the company for demonetizing her content. Besides that, California has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, and YouTube headquarters was a gun-free zone. To all the leftists out there, what exactly do you propose we do to stop these kinds of events? I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, if more people were armed, these lunatics wouldn't be quite so confident in their behavior?
Turn your home into a gun-free zone, you'll never have to worry about gun violence again. Now that's security.
Give me all your money, you old biddy, or I swear I'm gonna... My bad. I'll just be leaving.
In other news, thousands of Central Americans have entered Mexico from Guatemala, boldly declaring their intentions to march right into the good old US of A.
A week ago, a caravan of Central Americans crossed from Guatemala into Mexico, bound for the U.S.
After having crossed 2 checkpoints, we haven't performed another count, but I estimate that there are about 1,300.
Unlike most immigrants who hire smugglers, this group is guided by People Without Borders, a U.S. nonprofit advertising the trip and raising money online, while also saying it will provide legal advice on how immigrants can claim asylum upon reaching the U.S.
Just imagine what must be going through these people's heads. I mean, maybe they're thinking, I don't know what awaits me in the US, but I'm sure that if I work hard and apply my skills, I'll be able to work for a living and contribute to society. Or I suppose they could be thinking, I know exactly what awaits me in the US. Welfare, free healthcare, education in my native language, and the promise that any crimes I commit will be attributed to racism with zero responsibility placed on me. And we wonder why we have an immigration problem.
There's a heap of Mexicans out there who want nothing more than to sneak past our border, and we gotta stop them.
Eric, you want to say hi to Grandpa?
Not now, Mom. We're playing Texans versus Mexicans. Gah! Fellow Mexicans! This time, we're gonna try rushing the Texans from the left side. Do not give up hope. Viva la Mexico!
As Democrats continue to assure us that any day now, irrefutable evidence will be produced showing that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians to steal the election, Special Counsel Robert Mueller announces that President Trump is merely a subject in his investigation, not a target. But is this a good thing or a bad thing?
We are also learning this morning that Robert Mueller, the special counsel, may be ramping up the pressure on the president's legal team to try to get President Trump to do an interview, according to the Washington Post. Keep in mind that while the paper points out the president may not be a target of the investigation now, that could change depending on what is said if the president were to sit down with Mueller face to face.
I honestly don't know how this is going to end up, but let's face it. The leftists don't care if he's guilty of any crime or not. They just want President Trump impeached. If he wasn't guilty of collusion, whatever that means, they'll try to get him on obstruction of justice. If they can't get him on that, they'll try to get him on Stormy Daniels. And if that one falls through, then within a few weeks there will probably be yet another story breaking and showing us just how evil President Trump really is and the necessity of removing him from office immediately. Hillary lost the election, you morons. Accept it already.
Over here is where we rig every American election. Also, American football. What? No! Is true.
In the world of professional sports, cheerleaders have long been an important part of the game. Nothing complements athletics like a group of scantily clad, beautiful women hyping the crowd up. But could being too sexy disqualify a woman for the job? The New Orleans Saints seem to think so in the case of 22-year-old Bailey Davis.
I'm Bailey.
22-year-old Bailey Davis says she was fired as a New Orleans Saints cheerleader after posting this photo wearing a lacy bodysuit on her private Instagram page. They are restricted from posting any photos on social media that are nude, semi-nude, or wearing lingerie. Bailey says the lace bodysuit is lined, keeping her modesty intact.
They told me it was distasteful. They said it's because of I had a dirty face in the photo, which was attracting attention from players.
All I have to say is that given this team is privately owned, they reserve the right to fire or hire anyone for any reason. But seriously, firing a woman for posting a sexy picture of herself? Come on! What on earth did you hire her for in the first place if not to look sexy and therefore drum up new business?
I think the name is Meg.
Me? Why?
Yeah, why? Let me explain something to you, all right? We gotta get her half naked and put her out front center stage. And that's gonna make y'all billionaires because America loves hot, white, jailbait ass.
Wait a minute. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
And it's that time of our show to reveal the weekly hottie. Drum roll, please. This week's weekly hottie is YouTube fashion model Mia Maples. Mia released a video this past week showcasing herself in a variety of different prom dresses. Here's a clip.
Okay, here is this dress on. Honestly, kind of loving this. It's a little bit big, so let me just grab a clip. Try this one on. Let's spin into this dress. Okay, here is this dress on. Once again, it's just a little bit big on my waist, which is not the worst thing that could happen, honestly. It didn't work. Okay, here is this dress on. Not loving this one. First off, when I was put again. Okay, here is this dress on. Oh my gosh. This looks just like the picture, and also I didn't need to cinch my waist or anything.
And that brings us to a wrap for this week. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, both on the Liberty Network and on my channel, My 2 Cents. And as always, that's my 2 cents. So take it for what it's worth.